This is a watch face called Glance Pro Dual, which I have been using now since I got the Fenix 7S Pro. On my 6S Pro, there was also one available. It is just the same. It is the same one, just without the Dual. What this has allowed me to do is to approximate what I call a biological clock on my wrist. So the most important two metrics, which I can continuously measure, which do have a certain predictive power over my mortality, seem to be VO2 max. And so this is basically the VO2 max Garmin estimates for me based on the running trend, which you can also see based on this symbol. Then we also have the resting heart rate. In this case, it is only the weekly average. It would be nice if this app would also allow access to the monthly or even yearly average, which I usually take a look at. Then we also have a couple of other things. So we have these two bars. The upper bar I have set to the body battery. I have this set to orange, even though Garmin usually uses the teal color for the body battery. And so I can see this during the day, how high or low my body battery is. If my body battery, for example, is at 5%, which seems to be the lowest value Garmin shows, then it is usually time to go to bed. It might be the case that I go to bed also earlier with a higher body battery. That's what I'm trying to say here. But I just use this kind of as an additional thing. Of course, now this is kind of based on the assumption that Garmin actually predicts this properly, and often it doesn't get my sleep fully. Now we also have this here, which is the floors I am able to ascend in a single day. So this is set to 10. It's kind of just the standard goal. Now there are also additionally two bars. So there is one on the bottom and one on the top. The one on the top I have set to the intensity minutes goals met. So I do have a certain intensity minutes goal, and if this is fulfilled, the bar disappears because I have set the color of the bar then to black. So basically there are two colors you can set. The one is where it shows and the other one where it then doesn't show. And I have set this color to black. I also set it with this white stripe in the middle such that I could actually see more stand outish the time. So of course in the middle I have the time. I also do have the seconds on the display because I often use my watch for timing things. This could either be using time boxing as kind of a method to ideally increase productivity, but I also often use it for sports. And yeah, but of course if I track on my Garmin watch, then I do not have this showing often. So then I'm in the activity profile. Now, I also have the date here, which is fairly obvious. It is just the date, but I also wanted something that would indicate basically the position in the year. And for this, there is an option available, which is the ISO number, the ISO week number, which in this case is week 39. On the bottom now, I have the steps. I used to have the standard step goal of 10,000. I then experimented with the auto adjust goal Garmin provides, and now I have set it to this. So if I have a couple of days which have a higher step count, then this increases, and therefore the step goal increases maybe to 12K, 13K, 11K or something like this, and also goes below the 10K, but it usually stays around this area. And so once my step count for the day is basically fulfilled, then this also disappears. So basically my watch face becomes more and more minimalistic as the day goes on. Now, there is a slight problem, which is that in terms of body battery, the body battery is ideal when it's maxed out, but of course during the day it basically drains anyway. So I cannot really have this minimalistic interpretation of, okay, it is basically fulfilled with the body battery, because, well, I cannot really have it this way. I could have this set to white. So the background here, as you can see, is kind of whitish, but then I wouldn't really see it during the day because I would have to pay very close attention to this. So I could set this to white. I could also set it to black. And if the black disappears, then the white appears. Maybe that's an option. But I wanted it to also be somewhat symmetric. And so here, down here, I have basically what I could do, as I am imagining this, is that I could set this to black. And so basically as I did ascend these floors, I would then have the lower bar set to black. So basically it would disappear before maybe it would be white. But then again, I cannot really see the difference because, well, these lines are very thin and the watch is also not that big because I have the smaller watch model of the Garmin Fenix 7S Pro. And that has been an overview. Oh, I forgot two things. So these are the activity calories. I decided specifically to only include the activity calories because these are the activity calories. So these are the activity calories that I can control. These are the calories I can control, whether the other calories are just happening anyway. So these are also the calories I add on top of the usual 2K goal I have set in MyFitnessPal, for example. So basically I have the 2K goal, and whatever comes on top of this in terms of activity, I can potentially additionally eat. So if this is 2K because I did lots of activity, then I can eat 4K calories. Now, of course, 4K kilocalories. Now, this here are the intensity minutes. I do not necessarily pay much attention to these, so these are the daily intensity minutes. I would prefer having something else on here, like Garmin Load would be very interesting, for example, but Garmin Load does not have, so the app does not have this metric. There is a Garmin IQ app, which one can access if one goes into the Garmin IQ app, and then in the watch face Glance Pro, one can then basically set these metrics